Hello, and welcome to Model Airliner.com TV. This year, we're excited to introduce our video series to our subscribers. Our video series will feature news, reviews, collecting tips, information on model shows, and more as we aim to provide you with the most up-to-date and accurate news in the die-cast model aircraft industry. Today, we're going to bring you our series known as Throwback Thursday, where we talk about aircraft that were blast from the past. We've got two wonderful aircraft here today, the Inflight200 TWA Boeing 707-300 and the Northwest Airlines Boeing 747-400. That's by B Models Inflight200 as well. So we're happy to have you here with us today. Let's go ahead and get started with the TWA Boeing 707. So as I mentioned earlier, this model is by Inflight200, and it can be displayed with or without a stand. And one of the things that I love about Inflight200 and their models have to do with the quality. This model is very highly detailed with everything such as the TWA double globe livery, down to the emergency exit markings, to the detail of the fan blades and the engine nacelles. The quality is just great in terms of detail. So a little bit of history about this particular aircraft. It is November 773 Tango Whiskey. It first flew in 1962 and then entered service with Transworld Airlines in 1963. The power plants in this aircraft, you can see there are 4 JT3D-3 engines, which each produced about 18,000 pounds of thrust. There are 4 tires on the left main landing gear and right main landing gear, and then 2 nose wheel tires. So let's dissect this model from head to tail. As I mentioned again, I'm a big detail-oriented person. I love detail, and Inflight has really hit this right when it comes to the details. You can see the nose is painted black, as well as this area underneath the cockpit windows. If you look closely, you can even see the windshield wipers as well as the cockpit skylights. You can see on the side of the aircraft the TWA double globe livery. Now this livery debuted in the 1960s on many of TWA's aircraft, and it was one of the most recognizable liveries out there, and still one of the most popular to date. And you can see by looking at the livery, I'm going to use this tail as a reference because it's a little larger, but there are 2 globes that come together, hence the double globe livery. The nose wheel tires are very well detailed. You have a communications antenna on the forward part of the fuselage there at the bottom, as well as an upper fuselage communications antenna on top. Moving back towards the rear, we even have the peephole, the door hole here, basically that you can see on the forward entry passenger doors. Emergency exit markings as we move from the front of the aircraft towards the rear, and then the ever famous Starstream 707 logo towards the end of the fuselage there, just under the tail. So a wonderful aircraft here. Highly recommend this. Again, you can find this aircraft at modelairliner.com's official partner store, which is DG Pilot Aviation Collectibles at www.dgpilot.com. And last but not least, we have this wonderful rendition of the American flag, as well as the HF antenna on the top of the aircraft's tail here. We'll put that back on the stand, and then we'll move on to our next model, which is the Inflight200 or B Models Northwest Airlines 747-400. Now you notice this livery was also one of the most recognizable in the world, as it is the bowling shoe livery. This livery's concept was kind of created by the employees of Northwest Airlines. This red, gray, very, very dark blue, and white. You can see more of the white on the bottom section of the fuselage. Was really the creativity of the employees at Northwest Airlines. Now, this particular aircraft was line number 726, so it was produced actually in the late 80s and delivered to Northwest Airlines in 1989, where it entered service and remained part of the Northwest and then Delta fleet after the Northwest Airlines merger. Unfortunately, the aircraft is no longer around. It was scrapped, but this model is a beautiful rendition of what it used to look like in its heyday as the Queen of the Skies. So you can see the detail starts here really with the nose section. I could talk about the detail on this jetliner all day long, and this model as well. It's detailed to the point where we have a crew escape hatch on top, the windshield wipers just under the cockpit windows that are on top of the red part of the paint here, as well as the American flag on the forward left side of the fuselage, and then the Northwest lettering in white is printed very, very well. Couple logos, 50 years Bridging the Pacific to celebrate 50 years of Northwest Airlines service in the Pacific region of the world, as well as the Northwest KLM logo. Now, we all know that Northwest has been a long-standing partner with KLM, and now Delta Airlines is a partner with them as well. We have the red jewel beacon on top, as well as several VHF communications antennas. Now, let's talk about the power plants here. We have 4 PW4056 Pratt & Whitney engines, which each produce between 50 and 60,000 pounds of thrust, and the detail is done very, very well. You can even see some of the markings on the bottom side of the engines here, which are very, very nice. Landing lights, taxi lights on the forward inboard section of the wing here. Again, this aircraft is considered the 18-wheeler because it did have 18 wheels. You can see those are very well detailed. The ship number, ship 6305, was the ship number for this particular aircraft. And you can see the jewel beacon on the bottom, as well as communications antennas. One of the things I loved about the Boeing shoe livery was the Northwest Airlines logo that was on the wingtip. Now, the 747-400 had a very distinct wingtip, which you can see here. It was kind of canted at an angle or slanted as well. We have the navigation lights on either side. We have the left wing navigation light, which is red, and the right wing navigation light, which is green. Moving back towards the rear of the aircraft, now all of the doors feature emergency exit markings, which are just outstanding. They're detailed just like the real aircraft had, and you would see these if you were to fly on this actual aircraft. November 665 US was the registration of the aircraft as well, and then we move back towards the tail where you have the Northwest logo. Now, a couple extra features that are great on this aircraft: the logo lights on the tail. You can see them on both elevators there, as well as the APU exhaust. So very, very detailed from nose to tail, and highly recommend this model. This model can be displayed without a stand as well, and it rests comfortably on all 18 landing gear, or on the stand as well, which features the Northwest Airlines logo. This is great. Another detail that some B models and Inflight200 models do have are the actual plaques, which represent the airline that the aircraft model is based after. So, attach it back to the stand. I'd like to thank you for listening to our first video review on modelairliner.com TV. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, modelairliner.com TV. We're certainly glad to be bringing you some new technology and new features with our video reviews. You can also visit modelairliner.com for the latest news, reviews, collecting tips, and more. And you can find both of these models at the official modelairliner.com store, which is www.dgpilot.com at DG Pilot Aviation Collectibles. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and keep tuning in as we're going to bring you more and more model news, reviews, and keep you up to date on the diecast model aircraft industry. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.